All right, guys, welcome to today's episode of Santa Cruz Medicinals Radio. Gonna really fire up the podcast again, get it going, come to you guys weekly with podcast deep dives into stuff, just updates on what's going on. As always, we're brought to you by Santa Cruz Paleo and Santa Cruz Medicinals. We just launched the electrolyte, so get those on Amazon. Type in Santa Cruz Paleo onto Amazon, try some of those out. We also restocked our CBD deep sleep caps, so look those up, Santa Cruz Medicinals. And today's episode is going to be about how to get jacked, how to get in shape, add muscle. This can be for somebody, I'm gonna go through techniques that will work for somebody that's new to this. I'm gonna go through techniques that will work for people that are pretty seasoned with this, like I was before I really dialed in my muscle gain over the last year, I'd say, and added some muscle. So we're gonna go over some of the stuff with nutrition, some of the stuff with training, as well as some interesting tips that I've heard that make life a lot easier with getting jacked. So, the first thing we're going to talk about is nutrition. When you're looking at adding muscle, which is what we're talking about today, you want to make sure to get 1 gram of protein per target goal of body weight. So right now, what I'm trying to do, I want to weigh about 168 pounds and have a lot of muscle on my frame at that weight. So I'm trying to eat about 170 grams of protein per day. If you are overweight and you're trying to lose weight, you need to find your target goal body weight, which is going to be up to you. Let's say you weigh 200 pounds right now and you want to weigh 170. You should be eating about 170 grams of protein per day. Now, the sources of those protein do matter. For me, what I've noticed is that adding a protein shake into my morning is an excellent way to help me hit that goal, so I'm not in some rush to cram as much protein as I can during the day. So I wake up, I take our Santa Cruz Paleo protein, I blend that up, and I've started my day off with like 30 grams of protein right out of the gate, and that just sets me up. It's easier to hit that 170 gram goal. The reason this is so key is that when we fill our bodies up with protein instead of nutrients from fats, carbohydrates, which we will still eat, and we'll get into some of the benefits that those can have of muscle gain, we set our body up to be in an anabolic environment and to put on muscle and not store fat. So this is key. You have to get that 1 gram per pound of target goal body weight. The next thing you have to look at when gaining muscle is that pre-workout meal is very key. So we'll get into the training regimens that you should be using if you're trying to gain muscle, but pre-workout, what I like to do is some fruit and honey and maybe a moderate amount of protein. For some people, they find that they don't really digest protein too well before they work out. That's fine. You can, try to have your protein about 2 hours before the gym. For me, I can eat a small amount of protein, maybe 10 to 15 grams, along with some fruit and honey and, some electrolytes, and that is really what I'm gonna use nutrient-wise before I go into the gym. Other supplements that I'm a big fan of pre-workout, we obviously have our Food of the Gods formula, but that's something I take every day before the gym. But citrulline is something I've been experimenting with, and that is amazing for helping your body with blood flow and to get a good pump and to gain muscle. There are studies showing that citrulline actually improved workout performance, so that's something to look into. I like to take about 3 to 4 grams of citrulline before I work out, and it gives me that good pump, but it also is going to help muscle recovery, blood flow, all that type of stuff. So now that you've started to fill up on protein and you have a good pre-workout meal, we're going to get into what to do after the workout. And we'll get into what you should do during the workout in a second. But after the workout, one myth that I see out there is that there's this anabolic window and that if you don't get protein within 30 minutes of a workout, you're wasting your time. That's not true at all. There's a lot of papers on the anabolic window completely debunking it. Now, while it is key to get some good protein and carbohydrates in after a workout to refuel, you don't have to panic if you're not getting protein in immediately after a workout. There are actually studies showing that when you don't eat after a workout for about an hour or two, your body is going to naturally spike human growth hormone a little bit. So that's a benefit there, and that can lead to some muscle growth and retention right there. So as far as that anabolic window goes, you don't need to do that. I do like to have some protein probably within an hour or two after working out. After I work out is when I'm gonna have my biggest meal because I'm gonna give my body time to rest and digest. That's when I'm gonna have a meal with proteins, fats, carbohydrate. I'm keeping it high protein. For me, my body really likes healthy fats, so that meal will have, olive oil or butter, or just, it's gonna be meat, which has fats and proteins in nature's perfect ratio, honestly. And then I'm gonna have some carbohydrates. So that's gonna be some sweet potato, some white rice, maybe some fruit, and that's gonna be my biggest meal of the day. So a big thing with gaining muscle and just, having your ideal body composition, it is so much about nutrition, it's insane. If you are trying to gain muscle and you're lacking the nutrition stuff that I just talked about, you're going to be fighting an uphill battle that is very hard to overcome. The other aspect of eating the way I do, where we're not eating seed oils, we're not eating artificial sweeteners, we're not eating all these processed foods, is your brain is going to feel better and you're going to be able to work out. You're going to have far more motivation to work out when your body isn't going through these massive up and downs by eating processed sugar, stuff like that. So that's really key, and that's been key for me to gain muscle lately. Training regimen. To get jacked, to put on muscle, you have to lift weights. You have to do resistance training. And for so much of my life, I tried to do a bunch of kettlebell workouts. I tried to do a lot of cardio. And while it's good, there's a lot of health benefits for that, and you shouldn't omit cardio or omit workouts that you love. To gain muscle mass, you have to lift weights, and you have to do hypertrophy style training close to failure. What does that mean? The sets and reps that I've been doing lately, and I used to not do this. I used to think this was dumb. And then you actually look into the science on this. There's tons of exercise science papers on this. Your body does not gain muscle effectively unless you are training within 5 reps of failure. What does that mean? That means if somebody had a gun to your head and they said, do 5 more reps, you could not. So when you see my training footage now, I'm going towards that failure. And so what I like to do is I do one warm-up set at about 60-70% effort, just get the exercise set up, get the exercise fired up, gives my body time to warm up. You can do more warm-up sets if you want. Some people do one set at 30% effort, one set at 60, one set at 70, and then they get into their working sets is what it's called. I typically do 2 working sets, which means I am going to failure. It doesn't really matter about the amount of reps you do. It's been shown that muscle hypertrophy occurs from using 5 reps all the way up to 35, as long as those reps are finished near failure. So that is what you need to do. And how to set up your week, how to set up your training. Let's say you have 4 days a week to train, or let's even call it 3 days. One of those days is going to be a shoulder and arm workout. The other day is going to be a leg workout. And the other day is going to be push-pull, so upper body. So push-pull, chest, and back. And the reason you do want to split things up like that is you're giving your nervous system time to recover. You're giving your muscles time to recover. And that is why the split does work really well. There are some people who have had success with doing, full body training, maybe 3 days a week, but you want to allow adequate time for muscle recovery, and this is why this typical bodybuilder split does work really effectively. A lot of people hate on it because they say, oh, I need to work all my muscles, I want to hit my full body, and that's fine, you can throw in some total body exercise, but I think what a lot of people don't realize is an exercise like a squat or a deadlift, it does work your whole body. When you're lifting heavy weight, even if you're doing biceps, your core is working to stabilize, your shoulders are working, your legs are working. So that is what I've been doing to segment up my training. Obviously throw a lot of other stuff in there. I do jujitsu, I go surfing, so I'm getting my cardio, I'm getting all types of exercise, but as far as muscle gain goes, that is the split that's really worked for me. I do shoulders and arms on Monday, I do legs on Tuesday, I have a quad focus leg day on Tuesday. Wednesday, I'll usually try to go to jujitsu or do something active. Thursday, I hit push-pull upper body, so it's chest and back. And then Saturday or Sunday, I'll try to throw in another workout. Lately, I've been trying to build my legs and arms, so usually that'll be like a glute-focused leg day or another arm day, depending on how I'm feeling. I like to hit abs probably about 3 days per week, so that's what's been working well for me. But the key thing is exercise selection and the set and rep scheme. So when I go into the gym now, instead of trying to do 15 exercises and do all them, 70% of my effort, I am usually picking 5 to 6 exercises and I'm doing that warm-up set and then I'm going ham on them. I am going extremely hard on them. So what does that mean? I go into the gym on a leg day and I'm saying I'm gonna do hack squats, I'm gonna do leg extensions, I'm gonna do hamstring curls, and I'm gonna do lunges. That's 4 exercises right there. It's not complex. I'm gonna do a warm-up set and then I'm gonna go as hard as I can to failure. If I'm feeling really good on an exercise, sometimes I'll throw in 3 sets to failure. That right there, it's not easy. I'm not here to tell you that it's easy, but that is how you can stimulate your muscles for growth. This is what all the science is showing us right now. This has also made it way easier mentally for me in order to gain muscle and just to structure my workouts. It's actually not that difficult to structure a workout in this format, and a lot of people have talked about this and why they love the training to failure method or the high intensity training. Some people have followed this bodybuilder, Mike Mentzer. He developed this train to failure concept where he only does, I think, 1 or 2 sets per body part. He's not doing a lot of volume, but this makes it easy for people who are busy, as I'm sure you are. I can go into the gym now and achieve a really good workout within an hour, whereas before it would usually take me 2 hours sometimes to get through these like whole body workouts, complex workouts with a lot of exercises. So on an arm day, for example, I will pick 5 or 6 exercises and I will hammer them. I will absolutely hammer them. And this has led to some significant muscle growth for me. I used to weigh 155. I'm currently at 164. And this is just all natural muscle gain. I'm sure there's some fat gain there as well, as I'm eating a lot of food right now just to bulk and gain some muscle. But the strength increases and the overall muscle gain has been amazing. So what are some other things that we can do for muscle gain, some supplements? What can we look at? Tongkat Ali is something I've been experimenting with, taking 200 milligrams of Tongkat Ali, as there is research showing that it can increase testosterone, which is beneficial for muscle gain. The other most researched thing to improve testosterone, human growth hormone, muscle recovery, is optimizing your sleep. So before sleep, I take magnesium glycinate, about 200 to 300 milligrams, and I'm taking our deep sleep capsules from Santa Cruz Medicinals. This is gonna set my body up for a really anabolic sleep environment, and I take my sleep seriously. So every night, my girlfriend and I both take our sleep seriously. So around 11 p.m., we shut off the lights and it's time to go to bed. So we hang out in a dark environment. You want to make sure that your environment's dark. I put my phone away so I'm not getting any blue light into my eyes, which is going to suppress melatonin and just lead to lower levels of deep sleep and REM sleep. And I take that magnesium and those deep sleep caps. And about 30 minutes after that, I'm exhausted. I'm able to get into bed and get a full 8 hours of sleep uninterrupted. This is so key. It's absolutely crucial, and you should be monitoring your own sleep. There's devices and stuff you can wear. I've tried some of them, but in all honesty, if you have a good, intuitive function of how you slept last night, did you wake up during the night? Did you fall asleep relatively fast? When you woke up, how did you feel? You need to be getting optimal sleep if you're trying to gain muscle or you're just engaging in any athletic event out there. Sleep is key, and it's going to be really key for muscle recovery. Hydration is also key for muscle recovery. So obviously I've talked about our electrolytes tons. You want to just make sure to get plenty of fresh water with some sea salt in there or electrolytes. This is going to be key for muscle recovery and to prevent muscle cramping, nerve signaling. There's a bunch of stuff that sea salt can actually help as long as you dilute it with plenty of water. So I like to take a big pinch of sea salt, put it in my water. Nowadays I do a scoop of our electrolytes per day. That's what I'm drinking right now. And so those are going to be some key things with muscle growth. The other key thing that I've really noticed for a lot of people is it is hard on the joints to embark on this program. So if you're new at lifting weights and working out, you want to scale up to this. What does that mean? You're gonna start off with lighter weights and you're gonna do more warm-up sets. And maybe only take 1 set close to failure. And maybe with your failure, you're going within maybe 5 reps in reserve, maybe 4 reps in reserve. As you progress throughout about 2 or 3 weeks, you can up the intensity. So now you're gonna go a bit heavier, maybe less warm-up sets, and then you're gonna take it within 2 or 3 reps of failure. And as you progress, you can take it almost past failure. You'll see sometimes when I'm working out with a friend, I'll have them push the hack squat machine or push that cable for me where I'm taking it past failure. Before I used to worry a lot about injuries with this. It doesn't happen. I haven't gotten injured training past failure as long as you do it with good form. So I'm not breaking my form to go past failure. So this is all really key stuff. As far as cardio goes, I'm still doing cardio because I love doing jiu-jitsu. I love surfing. I'm not going to give up on that. But cardio does create sort of a catabolic environment for muscle gain. So it's something to note. It's not to say that you can't gain muscle while doing cardio, which is what I'm doing, but it does make it slightly more difficult. So if you're just trying to bulk and be a bodybuilder, maybe omit some of the cardio, but that is not the healthiest thing to do. I'm not really a fan of that. I want to be a total athlete. I want to have great cardio. I want to have muscle. I want to have flexibility. I want to have endurance. I want to have strength, all that. So that is sort of the format right there. Share this with anybody that you think could embark on one of these programs. Get to a gym as well. I have a pretty good home gym here, but I'm telling you, you want to have access to cable machines. You want to have access to machines too. I used to think the machines were not functional and didn't lead to muscle gain. They do. As I've gotten stronger using machines like the hack squat machine, the chest press machine, it is 100% translated to like my jiu-jitsu, for example. I'm stronger. Ask any of my training partners that I roll with, they're like, you feel fucking stronger than you did, 6 months ago. So it absolutely is working. I still use my kettlebells for, for fun. Honestly, I just enjoy them. But if you want to gain muscle, this is the type of program that you need to engage in and embark on. If you have done this, comment below and let me know how it's worked out for you. And let me know if this was helpful. I'm gonna do more deep dives. Let me know what topics you wanna see me dive into, and we're just gonna dive deep into them. It's gonna be something you can come back to, listen to, and take advantage of. So that's it for today's episode. As always, type in Santa Cruz Paleo on Amazon, try out some of our formulas, type in Santa Cruz Medicinals, try out some of those. I appreciate you. Peace.